course.
Let's start with why you first started with Hearts Need Art to begin with. How did you hear about us?
So, I had just been on your show, actually.
Oh, right. True.
And I had posted on Facebook looking for a way to volunteer, and you connected me up with Swansea. And so from there, decided to try it out and see.
What clicked that you were like, that's where I need to be?
I had just started teaching the ukulele and seeing how easy it was for everybody to sort of pick up, and I thought this would be a fun instrument to take to an environment that may not have, access to anything like this. So the hospital seemed like a naturally good fit.
What were your first thoughts when you heard it was adults? Because most people obviously think of stuff like that for kids, but since we primarily work with adults, what did you think?
I actually liked that even better. Obviously that I teach kids most of the time during the week anyway. It would be nice to interact with adults on that, in their space too.
Mm-hmm. What has that been like now teaching? You've been here for a little over a year, yes?
Almost a year and a half, I think. I started in September
it
of
all flies by. Did you start before I started?
Yeah.
That's so funny. I think I was like, when you were on my show, I wanted everyone to do it, and then I didn't even realize I should have been doing it until like 2 months later. I was like, oh yeah, why am I not doing that? I have more time than everybody combined. So, yeah. So what has it been like?
I love it. I'm excited to go to the hospital every week. It's something different. I've made, some really special relationships with patients, and just being in that place where maybe we don't always play the ukulele, but we're building relationships with these patients and, just get to have some fun and brighten up their day.
What's the reaction usually when you go in and go, no, do you want to learn? Not just listen to me play, like, do you want to learn how to do something?
It's either a very strong reaction of like, oh, I'm not musical at all, ooh, no, or they kind of lean into it and it's like, well, I should try it, why not? Why not try something different, But I do like it when it's older patients, like typically the ones to try it are going to be, under 40, of course our population primarily, but every once in a while you'll get someone in their 60s that's like, yeah, I'll try this, and that always excites me when they're still willing to learn at that age.
I'm assuming you also end up finding a lot of musicians already. So that has to be kind of cool to like bond on. You can bond with them on so many different levels. That's what's fun.
Yeah, even like this week when I was at the hospital and it was an older patient and they asked for me to just sing and play for them, and I was playing "Can't Help Falling in Love" and he started singing along, which was just so sweet.
Yeah. That bedside stuff is so crazy to me because it's so intimate and so personal. You then also, because you know how to do everything under the sun, you also teach some of our art classes and do bedside art.
I do sub in for that.
How long have you been an artist in that sense?
I started really focusing more on the visual art stuff when I was in grad school because I was burning out hard on piano, needing some way needing a creative outlet, as crazy as that sounds. But then piano was so much work at that point that switching gears to my artwork, and my artwork at that time was primarily music themed, so I started selling, to colleagues, and from there it sort of took off.
What's doing the art classes like for you?
I love the art classes because it's fun for me to just sit and create with them for a couple hours and just take a break and have some fun with a new project.
Your classes have to be the laughiest. I don't think that's a word. I think I just made that up. But they have to be the laughiest classes ever.
We always have a lot of fun. I don't know what it is.
I don't know either because all I hear is laughing, and then there's like silence, and then I know everyone's creating something, and then all of a sudden there's laughter. It's very fun to listen on how your classes go.
Yeah, and it's always like, oh, we get to a detailed part, and it's silence.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's always a lot of fun.
I think what's great for them is they love consistency of the people that they're interacting with because they see so many. So it's probably almost like finding the teacher outside the classroom when they walk into an art class after ukulele, or the other way around, and you're still there.
Right.
Have you had any of that? Like, oh my God, you know how to do this too?
Yeah, again, this week at the hospital, I subbed for an art class and then, went and saw some of those patients that were in art class. I just went in to say hi, and it was like, hey, wait a second.
Yeah. Do you have a favorite project that you've done? I have a favorite project of yours, but do you have one?
Oh, I really enjoyed the peacock mandalas.
Oh, yeah.
Those turned out beautiful.
Yeah, those were really pretty.
Those were fun. I liked those.
Mine are your flower-haired
Mhm.
women.
That one's really popular with the patients.
They always turn out so different.
Mhm.
They're all so pretty, and it's all the
Mhm.
colors, and like it's just such a great piece of art.
Yeah, and those are easy.
Yeah.
Just doodles.
Yeah.
You know.
So, and then also because outside of Hearts Need Art, Izzy has real life jobs too, not just fun jobs. And then you do art, and you do music, and then you needed more time with us. So you started like helping with other stuff. How did that come about?
So
The need is usually how it
yeah,
happens.
yeah, it was. My skill set lent itself well. I mean, I had just started with Hearts Need Art in September of 2018, and we had our first gala November, and real quick I was brought on to sort of, I wasn't ready yet to take on, being the committee chairperson, but I really did take charge of that event in the ways I could help. And I think seeing that I had those needed skills really blossomed in this last year to, just help us grow and, take on the committee chairperson for the gala this year. For 2019 was crazy, so
But at least we had more time in 2019.
we did. We were better prepared, but
Yes.
woo, man. So
Thinking about how much you've helped, as you were like talking about it, I don't know if you saw it or not, but I was
I
like
can
starting to
see.
tear up. I was, because you've
Whoa.
been so helpful, and you've been such. I don't know what we would do without you. Okay, anyway. So, do you want to give anybody like maybe some sneak peeks into Gala 2020, Night of 1,000 Hearts?
Oh, well, we are doing it completely different.
Should we announce the date?
Should we announce it?
I think we should announce it.
Okay.
You should announce it.
Okay, so it's scheduled for September 12th, 2020. So write it down. Put it in your calendars.
Because it's going to be a really fun night.
This one's going to be so different than last year. Come prepared to make some stuff and have some fun.
Have some fun. And dance this year.
Dancing, for sure.
For sure.
Dancing. Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Mhm.
We literally scrapped everything about a gala and kind of built our own, and it's going to be really exciting.
It's going to be great.
So then Izzy said, I still am not working enough. So I need to introduce to you our Director of Donor Experience. That's the title.
I think so. I
Yes.
think that's what we've
How do you
agreed
feel
on.
about that title?
I'm really excited about it. It was definitely one of my favorite parts about planning the gala last year was building those relationships with our donors and, interacting with them. And, hopefully, especially at this gala moving forward, I'll have more time in the event to build relationships and, really get to grow our program in that way.
Do you want to tell them kind of what your position will be? It's a part-time position. And what will you be focusing on?
I'll be doing assisting with finding grant opportunities for us, planning a lot of house concerts, so a concert for a cause, so you can open your home up and bring in a musician and raise some money for us that way. Another one we're doing is create for a cause, so you can host an art party, and we bring in one of our artists to walk your friends through something creative and fun to make.
It'll be so fun.
I'm really excited about these
Yes.
in-home experiences.
Yes. It's because it's so unique.
Yeah, and you get to see firsthand, you get to experience what do we do with our patients each week. This is a tiny little window into making art and experiencing how it affects your life.
And it really is, especially the art part, like it's for everyone.
Mm-hmm.
Like
It
it's
is.
so hard to describe that I know we hire professional artists, but they're not doing crazy work that you're never going to be able to do.
Mm-mm.
And also, if you come into a class and you don't want to do whatever they want to do, you just tell us what you want, and then
Exactly.
and we just do it. That's what I always tell patients. I'm like,
And I love that.
You don't want to do that? What do you want to do?
Yeah.
And they'll come up with stuff.
Yeah.
Well, you might be wondering why we're sitting here in this. Where are we, Izzy?
We are in my VW bus, lovingly called Stevie is her name. She even has eyelashes on the front. And she's a character in my children's book. If we're
She's a
making
star.
that
We are
transition.
making that transition. I'll put it up there
Okay.
too. How did this come about? You're now an author.
I'm now an author and illustrator.
No big deal.
Whatever.
No big deal.
So Princess Zoe and her marvelous carriage was inspired by my niece Zoe. She was picked on at school, and realizing that the resources for kids seemed sort of lacking And so I decided, well, I'll just write my own children's book. I'll fill in this gap I see, and decided to take this project on at the start of 2019, and had my first book signing at the end of November in 2019, which is kind of crazy.
It's such a good and cute book.
Mm-hmm.
I maybe bought way too many copies. I actually need to get more from you. I forgot about that. I do need to get some from you. So tell them what happens in the book. Tell them about the book.
So Princess Zoe loves to fly around in her marvelous carriage, of course, based on the VW bus. And she, as I've experienced in real life, can break down.
Once
So
or
little
twice.
Princess Zoe experiences that it's old and breaks down sometimes. And so she gets picked on by Princess Pepper in the book. And so through the help of King Nicholas, her dad, my brother, she learns how to stand up for herself.
That's so awesome.
Mm-hmm.
Where can people get the book?
So you can actually get it on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Target, all the major distributors.
What does that feel like
That feels
to say that?
pretty crazy
Yeah.
to think that I'm on Amazon.
Yeah. I heard Target and I was like, oh, I want my name on something at Target. Please. That's so great. What has Hearts Need Art done for you?
Hearts Need Art really, I think, made me feel like I really belonged in San Antonio. Not growing up here, I moved down here for grad school and sort of stayed here out of just convenience. Oh, I've built a career here. It doesn't really make sense to move, but does it make sense to stay? And I've struggled with that in the 8.5 years that I've been here. And I think this last year I really realized, like, this is my calling and this is why I'm supposed to be in San Antonio. And really realizing what power that, had for me has been a great journey.
On your brain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I tell Stanzi all the time, I feel like this job saved my life.
Yeah.
Like, it's so hard to describe.
I can't imagine my life without it at this point.
Well, the way you're going, it won't be.
No, I'll just keep doing more
Sorry.
things.
No, I'm not sorry, actually. We need you more. That's what I always said. I was like, we just need her to quit all the other stuff she does.
Right.
And then we can have her all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about, like, the community that we're meeting for today? Like, if people want to join?
So we've started a year-round fundraising committee, actually, based on a need of just, there's only so much time I have and needing everyone's help to chip in, and people often want to get involved when they hear about what we do. So this is a great opportunity if you can't volunteer in the hospital directly, that you can come to these committee meetings. They're every other month or so. I don't know when our next one is right off the top of my head, but it's definitely March 15th. 1 p.m. is what comes to my head.
I will put it on the bottom if we're wrong.
That.
Yes.
But, if you, wanted to help at one of the Create for a Cause or a Concert for a Cause, to have a volunteer at those type of events would be great. For the gala, of course, we will need a lot more volunteers to make, our dream come true for that event. So you can certainly join and participate that way.
And it's great for people who have daytime jobs and can't come to the hospital but want to help some. We're going to be meeting on weekends, and so it'll make it hopefully a little bit easier to help out, because it isn't just people in the hospital, it's people outside of the hospital that are really helpful as well.
Yeah, we need to fundraise so we can provide these services and continue to do that work.
Yep.
So
what would you say to anybody who is thinking and researching places to maybe give to, and why they should be thinking about us?
I think knowing that the powerful work that I see we do every week in the stories that your patients tell, like, there's no one else doing this in San Antonio. There's no one else that comes alongside these patients that just, the hardest journey in their life sometimes, and we get to be there and sit with them and create with them, and it's just so powerful,
It's something you can't describe enough.
I really
can't. You have to see it. Mm-hmm. You have to see it to believe it. Mm-hmm. Izzy, we're out of time already.
Okay. Wow.
I know. It's true. I hope it hasn't stopped, actually. We actually get to go to a meeting now and set up.
Woo!
It's our first fundraising meeting, an event planning meeting. So if you want to join us, are we emailing you if they want to join?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll put that down there too.
Yeah.
Izzy
Send me an email.
Anderson, you're the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.